Hello Eternum and welcome to KOTT News, Eternum's #1 source for news, and this is the War Report. Dynamic change in the history of Eternum last night as fresh bench forces liberate the northern deep forests of Brightwood. And the Syndicate members of JDB knock out the champs in the final moments of the third round, claiming the island's championship belt for longevity bragging rights. KOTT News caught up with the team representative and spoke about the outcome and recent events. Hey, congratulations on your victory here in Everfall. Well, not here in Windsward, but there in Everfall. Getting into the gate with about 15 minutes left, and after about 2 or 3 pushes, able to take down the champs, becoming the undisputed heavyweight champions of Eternum. How does it feel tonight?
It feels good, but also we know not to take other companies lightly. We rotated in a lot of players, thinking it would be much easier than it was going to be, and it turned out to be quite more of a challenge. It just goes to show you that you can't lose focus, and you always got to keep trying your hardest to win and play correctly, no matter what.
Indeed, you do. Have you noticed that the new rules of armed conflict in the final 2 minutes, how the respawn timers have impacted you in your other defenses? Maybe tonight you took advantage of that opportunity?
We're still looking into a lot of that. It definitely feels different, and it's harder to combat. Defenses, it hasn't been much of a problem, because we haven't gone to fort, but it's certainly on attack you can feel it a bit, and especially with how clumpy the meta is and whatnot, and how tanky everyone is. People really don't die, so it can be quite the interesting outcome sometimes.
Yes, I understand that. Well, despite the almost daily blackouts that have occurred around Eternum, you have seemed to be able to overcome those challenges and are back up to form now. Do you intend or see yourself expanding further across the island?
For now, we're just going to hang out, probably do some invasions, defend the lands, We do have our eye on Eden Grove. That would be interesting if it ever opened up. We would take a look at Eden Grove. That's about it.
All right, so cautionary tale to all ye who would assault the forces of tropical disturbance, because on the heels of that would be JDB. Understood. Well, let me ask you, as I am wont to do, was there anybody out there tonight who stood out in their performance for you?
It was kind of a collective effort tonight. Nothing too stand out. Obviously, we played a little loose, a little slack, so everyone just needs to, step it up and play like we normally do a little bit. So no praise, no praise.
No praise. All right. Well, continue to knock the dust off as people continue to advance along their tracks as the new rules of armed conflict have expanded the content slightly. Is there anything else that you might like to say to the citizens of Eternal before I let you go check out your VODs for the night?
Just like to say welcome back. Good to have people back in the game, and it's obviously impacting the server for the better, and there's a lot more going on, and I think everyone's having a much better time now.
Moments later, KOTT traveled to the beaches of Ebonscale to observe the influence race there, as competing factions vied for the right to challenge the reigning regional rulers. The outcome still undetermined as breaking news out of Brightwood, KOTT caught up with the returning Syndicate leadership to talk about their outcome as well. Congratulations on your victory here in Brightwood, reclaiming the region in the name of the Syndicate over in about 15 minutes. Would you care to take us through any pivotal moments you thought you had out there?
It was super clumpy. It was pretty fun war. I think overall they just lost on the point fights when our bruisers used Shockwave, and that's kind of what won us the war.
I hear you. Any of your bruisers stand out in their performance tonight, or anybody in particular that you might want to give a shout out to tonight?
I'm gonna say my man Nahoku. He popped off. He went crazy. Bottom left.
Well, now that you control the northern region here, up against the abutting regions of uncontrolled Eternum, the Syndicate have it almost completely surrounded. Do you have any intentions to go north up into the region there and conquest there?
I think most of all, we almost want to go home, because Morningdale was that was our home, that was our pride, that was our joy. And losing that to the same company, it leaves a little sting. If you feel me. So I think that might end up being the move, but we will just have to wait and see.
I see you're prepared for the upcoming event. You're going to be out there for the Hallows Eve event, I imagine.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be up all night waiting to go trick-or-treating. Got my pumpkin hat, I'm ready.
Last night's invasion was a no-brainer for the invasion response squads of the island, leaving little to do in the way of repairs this afternoon. But the corruption forces appear to be refreshed after a night off, and invasion armies have been spotted marching upon 40% of the island. 2 roster submissions for Simulated Fantasy Combat Resolution tonight, brought to you by LARPco. Remember, if it isn't LARPco, it's cardboard. With special thanks to the Craft Services crew. If you'd like to support KOTT News, Patreon is currently the best way. Up first, the marauders of pharmaceuticals assault the alcoholics of shot callers for control of the island's primary oil reserves in Weaver's Fen. Pharmaceutical forces formerly flanking the Fen send in their bruisers to intimidate the citizenry into accepting their rule and securing the eastern trade routes to the eastern side of the island. But the shot callers have been ripping it up ever since claiming the peat moss bog earlier this week. And despite the 4-day bender, they plan on showing up and going all out. Then, the Covenant hero worshippers of the Outcasts attack the Syndicate members of Fresh Bench for control of the medicinal hot springs and resort destination of Ebonscale Reach. The Outcasts have been cast out as heavyweight champs, so they head back to their favorite beaches to do more road work and reclaim their preferred homeland in the bamboo forest preserves. But Fresh Bench is aware of the recent improvements of the Outcast performance in light of the new rules of armed conflict, and have made some adjustments themselves, anxiously awaiting the opportunity to defend their position. Be sure to tune in for complete coverage and reactions from the citizens tonight at 11. Until then, this has been War Correspondent JChalant, KOTT News.